Hi! Today here on the bench another famous radio. It is a Kenwood TS-850 S. And this is really a very popular radio which is still in use, and there are many units out in the field, and therefore I thought it is a good idea to show you some of the weaknesses where you should have an eye on. This radio here in particular is in for preventive maintenance, because you know these radios are known for having leakage capacitors, especially on the local oscillator board. So we gonna have a look here into the radio, and we want to see if this radio has also these problems that capacitors are leaking out and producing corrosion on the board, which will finally completely damage the radio. But if you have an eye on it and you give this radio into a radio shop for preventive maintenance, then you really can prevent this radio for completely failing. So that is what we want to do today. We want to have a look into this problem. We want to see if this radio has already the same problem, and if we find the same, then we want to go and change the capacitors. We want to clean the board, and yeah, we try to do everything that this radio will work for another couple of years. So that is what we are going to do today. Okay, so let's crack it open, and let's see if we find as well this capacitor problem where this radio is known for. But it is not only on the local oscillator board where we have this problem. So this problem is also on the display board. So when your display is getting dark, or you see or recognize some odd behavior, then you know there might be some leaking capacitors on your display board as well. And yeah, when you already see trouble with your display, then it is most likely that there is already a destroyed trace by this aggressive electrolytic which is leaking out. So yeah, therefore there are some different points where you need to have a look on. Okay, and that is what the radio looks like when you have opened it, and the local oscillator board is under this shielding here. So what we really need to do is we have to open up this screws here, and then we will have direct access to the local oscillator board, and then we see what are the capacitors like. Yeah, and we have here the 6 screws, and these 6 screws are out right now, and now you can easily take this shielding away, and yeah, you can place it down there, so no problem. And then we have direct access to the board, and oh, do you see what I already see? Yeah, you see this here, this capacitor has already been changed, and but there are a bunch of other electrolytic capacitors all around. But let us have first a closer look to the capacitor which has already been changed with another repair, and I do not who did this repair, but what you can clearly see, this is not really a well performed repair, because what you can see here on the board is still the remaining electrolytic which has been leaked out, because normally you find here as well a SMD capacitor like yeah, a little bit like this capacitors, and so that is a clear sign that the radio has been opened and fixed at another repair shop, whatever. And yeah, this is really a shame. So it is, you know, I do not really understand how somebody can leave all this electrolytic here on the board, because you know, the corrosion is getting worse, and the problem is that the traces are failing, and then maybe you can't really help that this board will work again. And the problem is as well, you do not get all the ICs, these DDS ICs which are here on the board are obsolete, so they are not in the market anymore. So, you know, if this board is completely damaged, then your radio is lost. So you really should look and have an eye on this board, and especially the capacitors, and you can easily identify the problem, because you have this electrolytic on the board, and that means that the capacitors were leaking out. And yeah, let us have a look to the other capacitors. And when I'm zooming in here, so you know, this is really unbelievable. It is ridiculous. So the person who did this repair and who changed this capacitor already did not care on the rest of this capacitor. So whenever you do a fix on this board, you really need to change all the capacitors, because you know, these capacitors are known for this problem. And I really do not understand why a technician, an engineer did this, leaving all the faulty capacitors here on the board. So that is embarrassing, you know. I do not have any words for, yeah, unbelievable. It's hopeless. So, and if you're looking around, so here it is very clear, and this one as well, maybe not that dominant, but you can really see it already. And if we go and see what we have here with the other capacitors, what you can see here, for instance, so you can clearly see the corrosion here at the I see legs, and yeah, that is very, very obvious. And this capacitor as well. So let's go. Ah, come on, are you kidding me? Here you see, it is really, really bad, and here as well. So that is simply every capacitor. So this might be look not too bad, but you really would change this one as well, because it is only a question of time when this capacitor is leaking as well. And this one is it is on the other side, so let me see if I can show it. I need to change so come on, can we see it? Yeah, come on, here it is. So you can see this capacitor is leaking as well. So no question, we really have to change all the capacitors. And what we want to do as well, we want to clean this corrosion here on the board. So we do not leave it on the board, because it is very harmful for for this board. But I do not touch the capacitor, because I do not want to put any more stress here onto the board, because you know that is something not very nice. And yeah, what you see as well, I mean, this here is a voltage regulator, and I mean, okay, this is a 105 Celsius, 105 degrees Celsius capacitor. But anyway, so why put the person this capacitor directly behind this regulator? So he simply could put it on the other side, and that would have been much better. Okay, so you see, it was really a good idea to open up the radio, and that is what you can do by your own, even if you feel yourself not really able to do this repair, but you simply can open the radio. So you take the 6 screws out of the shield, and then you have a direct access to the board, and you directly see what's going on. And then you can decide, okay, I will bring this radio into a radio shop for fixing, or maybe you can do it by your own, but it is always a good idea to check minimum this board here. Okay, and I will now take the board completely out, and then we can start taking off all the capacitors, and then we're gonna clean the board, and then we replace new capacitors. So there is definitely one problem. When we take off the old capacitors, we have to be very, very careful, because all the corrosion makes it a little bit difficult to get the old capacitors out, because you can simply destroy the pad here on the board. So therefore we need to be very careful. But okay, let us first take out the board, and then we go ahead. And therefore, first of all, we take the coax cable out, and this cables has already been marked from the earlier repair. So we can simply take this out without any problems, and then we have here of course some other sockets, which are this is this do not want to come out. Okay, and this one here as well. And now we have only the ribbon cable left, and let me see. Now we need to be very careful with this ribbon cable, so very gentle we have to remove it, that we do not destroy this cable. And I hope okay, yeah, it is not too bad. Yeah, it looks like that we can use it once again, and now I should be able to take the board out of the radio. Yeah, I will take these screws here out as well. Yeah, let me take another screwdriver, and then we have a complete overview how this board looks like, and if we need to do something additional. Yeah, here we have still another screw, and then we should be able to get it away. And yeah, so we have to be very carefully with this board. It is a double layer one, and the problem is that, you know, the electrolytic is running in all these holes, which is through connection to the other side, and very often that is the first what happens, that the through connection get destroyed, and then the board stops working, because yeah, of course there is then no continuity, that you know, it can't work any longer. Yeah, as I already said, the electrolytic and the corrosion made the solder points not easy to handle. So what we need to do is to fresh up the solder points first, before we try to lift the old capacitors off the board. So therefore the first I want to try is to, yeah, we check it here on this bigger corrosion. So let me try if I'm able to get off a little bit from the corrosion. And what you already can see, the corrosion is already that much here in the PCB material, that with this board cleaner I'm not easily able to get this corrosion off. So you see how really significant is this impact. So that is not really easy to handle. So you see there is almost no reaction, so I'm not simply able to wipe this corrosion off. So not very easy. So but anyways, we need to fresh up the solder points. So therefore I tried to put some new solder here onto the solder points before I try lifting off this capacitors. Okay, so I tried to do one example here on camera. So first of all, I place some flux here to the solder joints here, and then I try to reflow it a little bit, just to get the solder points a little bit back. Don't know if you can see it, sorry. It's a little bit difficult because I'm watching here through my magnifier, and I do not see the display, the camera display, so that is a little bit, yeah, again, sorry. So we try it once again, and yeah, I simply try to reflow a little bit the solder point that I will be able to lift it up. So that is what I'm gonna do now with all the capacitors around the board, and this is only the example how you can manage it. And I have already changed the method a little bit because even with a lot of flux and with fresh solder, I'm not really able to reflow the solder points because the impact is already that dramatic there that yeah, you know, I'm not able to reflow the solder points. So therefore I have taken here this glass fiber pencil, and I try to clean the solder points a little bit where we have the bad corrosion already, so that I have really access at least to the solder points that they will take a new solder, because there is no way to get the corrosion away by simply using fresh solder and trying to reflow it. No way. But here with the glass fever pen, it seems to be possible to bring the solder points back to a point where we can rework them. So you see the impact is already very, very heavy available and or there, and it is really not easy to rework the board under these circumstances. So there is always, you know, there is a risk that you can really damage the complete board. But on the other hand, if you do nothing, then this heavy corrosion will destroy the boards as well. So, you know, there are only two ways. You will either get it managed, or your radio will fail within some more months. So, you know, there is definitely no way. Well, yeah, and now I've tried to rework the capacitors as good as possible, and the only way to get them off in a decent way is with these tweezers, because then the risk to damage the board is minimized. But as already said, you know, the corrosion is already that dominant that I'm not sure that we will get off all the capacitors without problems. So yeah, let me try what we can do. And yeah, you see, okay, it is off. So as example, let me go a little closer, and yeah, the pads are already there, so we have a good chance to rework this here with yeah, with a new capacitor, so we can replace the new one because we have the pads, and I've already tried it here. So the pads are there as well, and now I go ahead, but you know, this here is I'm not sure if I'm able to get this capacitor off without any damage, but yeah, let me try to do it off the camera, because it is yeah, as I already said, it is a risk. So I just want to try it as careful as possible, not, yeah, as I already mentioned, not to damage too much. Well, finally I was lucky to be able to remove all the capacitors without damaging the pads on the board. So when we go closer, yeah, you can see I was really able to maintain here all the pads, which is very good. But on the other hand, you see how much you know, this aggressive leakage has already damaged the board. So that is for sure. And well, what I can suggest so far is you really should always clean the solder pads with this glass pen here. Glass fever, is it? I guess it is called glass fever pen. I'm not really sure, but that is helping very much to be able to get access to the solder point with your solder iron, because otherwise you do not see any reaction on the solder point, so the solder don't flow in any way. So therefore this is really a good idea. Then try to put some fresh solder onto the solder point, and then finally I highly can recommend to use a tweezer like this, because if you do not use a tweezer, and if you're not able to heat both sides of the capacitor, then you will most likely damage the pads here on the board. And believe me, the pads here on the board are very sensitive, and the corrosion already made the copper here on the board more thin and yeah, even more sensitive. So therefore you really need to be very careful. Well, I try to explain it a little bit more in depth, because you know, this is really a critical repair, even it looks like very simple. Okay, so the next I want to do is to clean off the pads, and then I try to clean the board again with isopropanol alcohol, and after that maybe I have to clean the board even more with this pen here to get really rid of all the corrosion. And especially this IC here, you already can see that the pins are corroded, and yeah, that is really no fun. So yeah, we have to be very careful here with this repair. Well, and again, as example, I show you one solder point how to clean. So I take again flux and put it here onto the board, and then take this here, and yeah, let me see if you can see it. I hope yes. And then you have to be very careful here on the board, because this is critical as well, because you can be really unlucky and damage your pets which you have rescued before, if you are not really careful with this. I think you call it braid, is it right? I don't know. You really should move it very carefully here on the board, otherwise you damage your pets, you know, with your final steps before you can replace a new capacitor to the board. So again, you should be very careful. And yeah, let me tell you, if you are not familiar with SMD rework, don't try your first project on this board. You definitely will fail. So you should collect your experience with some other project, but don't do it with this one first. Believe me, this is really tricky. Okay, so I was more or less able to clean the pads. So if we go a little closer, you see that the pads are almost clean, but yeah, even this worse one, you see, I was able to clean it, but even so, there is, let me see, is it this one here? 1 second. Come on, focus. So first of all, you can hopefully see on the screen that the copper here is really yeah, so there is some damage. I need to be very careful when I put on a new one, a new electrolytic capacitor. And beside that, we can see, yeah, maybe here you can see it, the electrolytic went under the solder stop mask and started to destroy the copper underneath, and that is what we still have to manage. And I think we really need to take yeah, maybe sandpaper, or yeah, let me see what we can do, but we really need to get this aggressive liquid away from the board, because otherwise the damaging process would go on. So therefore, this is now the next to try to get the corrosion off. And you see there is really a lot around here, and even this older corrosion we try to get off a little bit, but yeah, as I already said several times, it is definitely not easy, and we never know if we are really able to get all this stuff away. And there is still a risk that there is something of this liquid left, and then the destroying process is going on. So the only thing I can say, yeah, if you haven't done it yet to check your radio and especially this board, do it as soon as possible, because every day counts, believe me. As I said, there is no spare part available on the market any longer, so therefore it is in any case it is really important to check. Okay, and that is the result so far. I've really tried to get off all the electrolytic, and you can partially see how serious the damage on the board already is. So you always see little holes or copper which is simply gone, and yeah, so that is already a serious impact and a serious damage here on the board. And well, at the beginning I said I do not really like to take the capacitor off, which was already replaced here, just to bring not additional stress here onto the board. But I was obliged to take it off because, you know, the remaining electrolytic here on the board was too dominant, so I really needed to take it off and to clean it underneath. And if you see this trace here, which goes under, you know, the capacitor, and you see here the guy who did the first replacement, this solder point here is really embarrassing. I do not really know what he did, so hopeless. And but on the other hand, you can see, I hope you can see it on, you know, the video screen. You see that the board has a huge hole here already, and yeah, you can simply see how aggressive this electrolytic is. And yeah, I really did the best to get all the stuff here off the board, and now we have to replace the faulty capacitors with new one. And then after that, when the board is already back here on this metal here, then I will put some solder lacquer over it to protect now the open surface for further corrosion. And yeah, then we can only hope that the board will finally work with all the effort we put into it. And yeah, let's see. So first of all, let me now replace the capacitors, okay? Okay, so all capacitors are replaced, and well, of course, this repair will not win a beauty contest, as we really had here and there damaged traces, and that is the reason why you find here and there some solder blobs here on the board. this is due to the fact that I needed to establish the connection and yeah, repair the traces a little bit with solder. Yeah, so that is the reason why you find some blobs here and there. But anyways, that was really important to support the yeah, damaged traces we had. And I decided to replace this capacitor with a smaller one. But anyways, it is a high-grade Panasonic like the others as well, and it is as well 105 degree capacitor, and I put it the other way around, so this capacitor do not have contact to this voltage regulator any longer, and that will help to protect the capacitor as well. Okay, so now I will put the board back into the radio and check if the repair was successful. I mean, there is still the risk that somewhere there is a through connection damaged. So that is always the risk if you are touching a board like this. But basically, I hope that everything is really good. So let me put it back and let me do a test. And if the test is positive, then I will put some spray here over the copper to protect the copper again against new corrosion. And yeah, so then it will be done. So let's see if it will work in the radio. Okay, board is back in place, so final test to come. So okay, radio is connected to power supply, generator and everything, and yeah, so let's try if the radio will work. So, oh, we have already static, good. So my generator is set to 14100. So let us set the radio to 14. Whoops. Hey, have a look. Have a look. Yes, it is working. Can't tell you how lucky I am not to get any through connection destroyed. Because as I already said, that is always a risk. Okay, so yeah, we are sure that all local oscillators are running, because otherwise we wouldn't get the receive signal. So yeah, that is a proof that our repair was successful finally. Well, but I don't want to let you go without showing you the second critical part, where you need to look for the capacitors. So this is the button side of the radio, and yeah, let me simply zooming in here to this corner. And there you find two capacitors as well, and these both capacitors are also very critical. So whenever you go and check your radio, have a look for these both capacitors as well, because these are leaking very easily as well. Okay? Okay, and finally, as I already said, we will protect our PCB with this clear varnish. which is, yeah, it is an electronic clear vanish plastic based. I don't know if it is the right word in English as well, but we put it over the PCB to protect this areas where we have now the open copper, and this product is especially used for electronics, so it is isolating, and you can still solder afterwards on the board. So this is especially done for something like this. So we can put it onto it without any problems, and therefore, yeah, I will put it now over it, and then we can close the box and the shielding finally, and the radio is then ready to go. So you may see the thin film here over the board, so it is completely sprayed over. So now it took a little while until it is dried out, and this special product will be dried out very quickly, so no problem. So I leave it open for a little while until I can see it is okay, and yeah, then it is done. So, well, therefore we can now leave it alone for a little while, but repair or our preventive maintenance is done, and radio can go back. Yeah, as I said several times, please check your radio if you have this type, this 850 S, because yeah, it is still really a nice radio, and it would be a shame if the radio get damaged, and if you can't use it anymore, only due to the fact because you have leaking capacitors. Okay, so that's it for today. Thank you very much for watching. If you like this video, and if it is of any value for you, please, as always, give me a big thumb up for the video, and if you have not subscribed yet, please subscribe to my channel, and yeah, catch you next time. Bye.